And here's a review on DC Direct Elseworlds Gotham by Gaslight Batman. Another one part of their Elseworlds line. This figure is from 2006 and obviously based on the artwork from Gotham by Gaslight. I think this figure is a very good representation of the artwork, which was done by Mike Mignola. If you don't know his work, if you've read Hellboy, you'll recognize his style, and this is very indicative of the way he designs his characters. I don't know much about the story because, again, I unfortunately haven't read this one. But I mean, there's certain things like the facial features are very representative of how he usually does his characters. A lot of nice detail, sculpt-wise and paint-wise in this figure. So let's just get a height. We'll have him facing forward first. Let's get a good height measurement on this guy. He stands to the top of his head, maybe 6.5, and then to the top of his ears, right under 7 inches. So he's got some good height to him. And just put him beside New 52 Batman again. You can see they're they're around the same height. New 52 just being slightly taller. And here we'll put Aquaman, DC Universe Classic. So 6-inch scale versus 7-inch scale. Obviously, you can tell they're, especially, let's put this down. You can see not quite in scale with each other. Obviously, because they're not meant to be. And there we go. So yeah, like I said, I really like the design of this figure. And that's just taking care of the design of the actual character from the source itself. So just zoom in a bit and just try to make it as smooth as possible. See, you got a lot of nice stitching on the head and some blue highlights as well in the black. It's not just a straight black. And yeah, that face is totally Mike Mignola. And hopefully, after I'm done this, I don't get the name wrong and I don't get the artist wrong, because I'm pretty sure that's him. Yeah, there's a rope piece here that connects the cape, although it doesn't actually connect it. But design-wise, it's what holds it together. This is actually not a hard plastic, but you'd expect it to be fabric, but no, this part's plastic. See, you got some cool line work in the Bat logo right there. And you got the tight little, so you got like some little sculpted details in the head, like the wrinkles in the suit and whatnot. And you'll notice right away he has like mud splattered throughout. If I can go like this, and I'll zoom out so you can see a bit better. It's a lot more apparent on the cape, like that. But that's the head, like so. We'll just go down a bit. And yeah, you got that. I like the musculature, or the figure of this figure, like the form, I should say. Like he's not overly muscular. She's not overly like muscular or anything. It's like he's wearing a thick fabric, so it kind of folds up and wrinkles here and there. He's got a very nice sculpted and painted belt. See right there. He's got knives. These don't come out, unfortunately. They're just sculpted in there. But a nice lining and black wash on there, or a wash for this. And yeah, the belt does continue all the way around to the back. Again, yeah, you could see a lot of that dirty mud, splatter onto the cape and the overall costume, and you can see more of those blue highlights. Yeah, I love the folds and the way this cape is sculpted. And if I can go back out a bit again, you can see it's windswept, but it's not overly done. So it's fun enough to kind of, it's not a static pose, but it's not super dynamic, which isn't always a bad thing. But I mean, it's nice to see like a subtle windswept cape. You can see the flaps on here. This one's a bit more different. it flows out a bit more. But going back to, yeah, so those wrinkles in that sculpt continues onto the legs and along the boots. And it's even like that mud splatter is even on the back of the cape right there. So that's pretty neat. And he does have one peg hole, and you got stamp of DC Comics on the bottom. Let's put there. So there's the figure itself. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with any accessories. He does come with a stand, which was kind of a standard of the figures in this line. So again, you got the Elseworlds logo, you got Batman, and then Gotham by Gaslight. Not much else to talk about accessory-wise, because yeah, he doesn't come with anything, which is strange because, you know, this is a fisted hand, sculpted fist right there, and then he has a sculpted hand to hold nothing. I guess it's kind of a shame. So articulation-wise, it's okay. Yeah, the figure's okay. You know, the head is on a ball joint, but the range isn't as good as I'd like it to be. So he doesn't really look up and down that much. It's about as much range as you get up and down. He does look left and right, although it's not the cape that's this collar doesn't hinder it that much at all, just because of the shape of the head. But I guess the way it sits in the ball joint, it rotates, you know, at an angle, so he's kind of looking upwards when I do left and right. So that's meh, not that great. He does have a little pivot, a little bit. So if you try to force the head down a bit, you can have him in slightly different poses. His arms do move up and down, forward, and actually it's better if I show it up in this one. They do move forward and back, and they probably can rotate. They're on ball hinges. Speaking again about the sculpt of these flaps, as I said earlier, this one sculpted it out a bit, like this one's flaring out a bit more, so you have more freedom to move. This isn't too restrictive, but it is a bit, like, that sounds weird saying, but it's flexible enough. But you know, the way the sculpt, it kind of goes like around the arm, so it doesn't really, like, okay, here's how far this arm can go, as far as the joint will go, and then the soft plastic or the rubber is just gonna force it down just like that. You're not going to get him in any super dynamic poses anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. No bicep rotation. As you can see right there, it's just straight bicep sculpt. You just have bend in the elbows and rotation at the glove, like so. I'm not showing that off very well. Nothing at the waist. His legs do move forward and back, like so, on the other one, obviously. They're kind of tight, so I wouldn't force them too much, at least on mine. And then he does have a bend at the knee, which is okay. It's not exactly 90 degrees, but good enough. No rotation in the legs whatsoever, and nothing at the ankles. So yeah, not the most articulated figure, but I will say I love the design. I love the way it was brought to life in this, and he's a good representation of the artwork, at least from what I've seen. So yeah, again, for a Batman display, you'd want him in there, and then the rest of it's just up to personal preference, so whether or not you want to hunt this guy down or not. Again, he is a figure from 2006, so coming up on 10 years. But there he is, the DC Direct Elseworlds Gotham by Gaslight Batman.